This is Level Up Life After 40 with Chey P.
and Amy E., helping women over 40 to grow, reinvent, and stop settling for just getting by.
Because your best chapter might just be ahead. Thanks for tuning into another fantastic episode of Level Up Life After 40 with Chey P. and Amy E. And today you are blessed with another wonderful guest. We have Melissa with us, and we're going to talk about confidence, authenticity, and the people that we surround ourselves with. She is another fabulous person that I met during some of my coach training. We were supposed to be doing an exercise, which we half did, but mostly we got to know each other and just had a really good time. And I'm like, do you want to be on my podcast? And she said, yes. So we are so excited to have her here. So, Melissa, why don't you just go ahead and just give us kind of a little brief intro of you prior to coaching, and then we'll kind of dive into our topic.
Yeah, so I'm a career educator. I taught for many years. I coached for many years. Worked as a school administrator. So I'm a 35-year veteran of education, super proud of that. I led a school for many years, a K through 12 online school in Indiana. I live in Indianapolis, and moved on to work for Pearson in the corporate world for many years after that, helping other school leaders grow their schools. And now I work at Wild Birds Unlimited. I have found my peaceful place selling bird feeders and bird seeds to all kind of people who love birds like I do.
I love that. I mean, they're all happy customers.
Some of the birds are not very nice, and some people don't like those not so nice birds, but that's for another podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a friend, she had a macaw, and she's like, and she could break your fingers. Awesome. No, I don't want to hold her.
Or take an eye out or two, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I do like that you've chosen to keep working and you're doing something because it makes you happy.
Well, and like many people who leave corporate jobs or pretty intense jobs, I still needed routine. I still needed a sense of purpose. I didn't really want to be in such a cutthroat or sometimes toxic environment. And so I found a place that I loved to shop. I feed my backyard birds. And so I thought, I'm just going to go work there. And it turns out it's my favorite job I've ever had.
So it's almost like you found your authentic self in your retirement. Semi-retirement, I guess.
I think that's true. And it's interesting because I think a lot about that at work. I have time to think at work, which is unusual. I didn't used to have that. But I think a lot about the tasks. I think about the interactions with people that I do that are so positive. And sometimes I find myself wishing, oh, I missed the mark in choosing the career that I did. But you're right. I think it's important for me at this stage to continue working and mostly to just have a sense of purpose.
I
And it
agree
sounds like you do.
100%.
Yeah.
So kind of going on the topic of friends and influence and confidence and authenticity, do you think we underestimate how much the people around us shape our lives?
I think many people do. I think many people underestimate. I would like to think that I don't, but it's taken a long time for me to learn. You know, people say that when you turn 40, you turn 50, a lot of things click into place, and that is absolutely true of me. So the people that we're surrounded with are critical to who we are. I think the best friends, the right friends, are the ones who help build confidence. They're the people who help you be your true self, and they're the people that help you just really kind of understand who you are. I have really, really wonderful people in my life, and I know that that contributes to my sense of happiness in my life.
Was there ever a relationship or something that happened that completely changed the direction of your life for better or for worse?
For sure. I mean, I could probably give you 10 examples of relationships, both positive and negative, that changed me. You know, I think about, I'm going to go way back. I had a middle school guidance counselor who absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. And it's because, so quick backstory. I had an older sister who died. I was 11 when she died. My sister was 13. I was completely lost as a kid. But there was this one woman who knew the pain I was going through, and she just sat with me. She talked to me. She would just call me into her office and just let me sit. She just let me know that she was there for whatever I needed. And that continued until she died 2 years ago. I mean, this woman continued to show up for me, continued to be my biggest cheerleader. So she really and truly transformed my life. I mean, that was from a very early place. I could also give examples of people I met 2 years ago that have transformed my life. So relationships I can't help but believe are as big a part of who we are as anything else in our lives. Jobs, habits, anything. I think people are so important.
I have just a question for you because, and I don't know, I guess it's a lot of it is my personality and like the excitement of meeting new people all the time. But I almost feel like I have like really, really good friends for a season, but I just have a very few kind of handful of people that I've had for my life, like my craft group and Amy. Like those are probably my longest relationships. But I remember when I lived up in DC, I had someone, we did stuff all the time, hung out, like it just, and then when I moved back, it's everything petered out. I get a Christmas card and we'll like each other's Facebook posts or something. But do you have folks that were just a season, but it really mattered and resonated with you at that time? Or are you one of those lifelongers like, "Oh, you're in my fold now. That's it. We're friends."
Yeah, no, they're definitely seasonal people, right? I love my lifelong friends and I have many of them. I remember a long time ago, somebody said, well, make sure that you have long lasting, enduring friendships and you will have a good life. And I mean, I was like 18. And so I have remembered that forever. And I sort of measure my life sometimes against that statement. I don't even know if it was true. I don't even know if there's any research that back, but someone told me that. But I do have friends, and oftentimes those are work people for me. So for a period of time, I had a really good friend who was my tennis coach. He worked with me and we became fast friends. And then life just kind of got in the way. And I haven't talked to him in 10 years, but I still count him as an important friend in my life. For that time period, he really helped me learn how to play tennis and have fun and meet new people and look at life a little differently. So definitely seasonal people. I guess I'm kind of a serial long-term friender person.
Have you ever had a friendship where you recognize that in the beginning things seem great, but later on you realize that this person is not really a true friend or they're not helping you grow the way you would like to grow?
Totally. So I have a really good friend. She's my friend now. We're very, very close. But there was a period of time where we had to step back and reevaluate. We became fast friends. It was really kind of fast and furious. And then I felt like we weren't really honoring each other's boundaries. Like we were too involved in each other's lives. We were influencing in a way that wasn't always positive. And so I had to say, listen, I need a break. I need to kind of step away for a little bit. I need us to not be in our lives every single day. And it was hard. Feelings were hurt and that separation was really hard, but we found our way back to each other in a way that just felt more safe. It felt more true. At least to me, it did.
Well, no, and I kind of want to go a little bit deeper into that because I feel like a lot of women, we struggle with the fact that we've got friends in our lives that we don't want to hurt their feelings, but the friendship probably isn't benefiting either party in that moment. So when you told her you wanted to break off the friendship, how did she take it?
There was a lot of crying. There was a lot of crying. In fact, we pulled in a friend of ours who's a therapist just to kind of help us figure this out in a way that was productive. I don't really think that ended up happening, but there was so much crying and drama and confusion between the two of us that I think we ultimately understood that just taking a break was the only thing to do, the best thing to do. So that's what we did. But she's also a friend that I kind of knew she would always be in my life. Like I always knew we would come back to each other. I
Mhm.
didn't know when, I just knew that we would. And we did.
Yeah. Just
Well,
needed to be resolved in a healthier manner. It
yeah.
sounds like, yeah.
When you broke off that friendship, did you leave it as this is just a break? Or in that moment, was it going to be a more permanent?
In the moment, it was just like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we need to not be so involved, so caught up in each other's lives right now. And it was a very interesting situation. And also, we were a lot younger. This was when I was in my early 30s that this all happened. And now I'm 58 and we're different people now to some extent. And we were able to bring friendship in a more healthy manner at this age.
Thank you for elaborating on that because I know those conversations can be really hard to have, but sometimes you just have to do it.
And sometimes it's about protecting your peace, right? It's just about saying, okay, this isn't serving me. I need to just kind of reevaluate. I need to recalibrate. Yeah.
And I appreciate that bravery because we're kind of talking about authenticity and confidence and stuff. And it takes a lot of confidence to just be like, hey, I love you, but, I've
Yeah.
got to take care of myself because, like Amy said, a lot of times people are going to kowtow or just kind of go with the flow. I also like that you approached it head on instead of saying, oh, I got to wash my hair today. I can't see you or something, or just changing your phone number. You actually approached it. And I think probably the way you approached it back then probably allowed for the healing to happen. So I
I
would,
think so. I,
yeah.
I also think everyone is different. I'm kind of I can't really sweep things under the rug. It just doesn't go well for me. But for the relationships that matter, I do think that's really important just to be direct and honest. Because at the end of the day, that's how I'm going to feel better. Brene Brown says, clear is kind. And I think that's true in friendship. I think we can be gentle, but I think being clear is really important.
I'm
I think
writing
that
that down.
I think that really solidifies the difference between a friend that tells you what you want to hear versus a friend that tells you what you need to hear.
Absolutely. There's no question. I've curated a group of friends over many years, probably 20 years, 25 years. We call ourselves the Yum Yums. And the reason we call ourselves the Yum Yums after, lots of creative sessions trying to figure out what we're going to call each other, we decided that we're much more delicious than the Ya sisterhood. So here we are, the Yum Yums. And it's a small group of women. There are 6 of us. And 2 friends started the group, and then we brought people into the fold over many years, and it's really been an important part of my life, this group of people. And one of the ways that we impact each other's lives so much and so well is feedback. We are each other's biggest cheerleaders, but at the same time, we're not afraid to say when somebody's going down the wrong road or making a decision that we don't like. And so that has taken a lot of work. It's been a lot of investment, but it sure has paid off because I have this group of ride or dies.
How long has this group been around and do you invite new members?
That's the question we always get. So it's interesting. We've been together for about 25 years. And the question of new members comes up all the time because everybody's like, ooh, I want to be a part of that group. I want to be a part of that group. And we used to say, no, we're close. We're close to members. But then as we've gotten older, we're like, why are we being exclusive? That's silly. Like if anyone wants to join in our joy, they are welcome. But you also have to meet the standard of being a real friend and build that trust with everyone and love us like we love each other.
Mm.
Exactly.
Here's kind of a tough question, and I thought about this because I was reflecting on myself the other day. But have you ever had a time in your life where you realized that you were the one that was holding somebody back in a friendship?
Ooh, this is a really good question. Yes. So I think what I'm learning as I've gotten older is that I'm a little more controlling than I ever care to admit. And I think it's because I want good things for my people. I want them to have all the things that they want. And I kind of feel like I've figured out a way to happy, right? I feel like for myself, I have figured that out. And so what that's resulted in the last couple of years is follow my way and you too can be happy. But that's not helpful in 99% of situations because everybody's got to find their own way. But I do feel like I have tried to too heavily influence people sometimes, and that doesn't ever go well.
Kind of equate it having a teenage daughter. We want to empower them with all the advice that we can possibly give them, and we don't want them to make the same mistakes that we made. So we give them all this unsolicited advice.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that the more advice I give, the less she listens. It's almost
Yeah.
like the complete opposite. I joke around,
Yes.
if I told her that the sky was blue, she would argue it was green.
Yeah. And a perfect example is a friend who is involved in a relationship that we all know is a disaster in the making. We can all see where it's going, Amy. And we can all see where it's going, right? And it's like, I can tell her what to do, how to be, but ultimately she has to learn those lessons. Years ago, Oprah said, I'm going to create this masterclass because I want people to just learn these lessons so they don't have to live these lessons. And I was like, I think that's really a nice idea, but I don't think it's going to work because People have to live their own lessons. They have to figure it out on their own for the most part. Some people will read a book and then know how to live their life, but that's not me. I had to live all the mistakes.
Yeah, my mom used to say, you don't need to get hit by the bus to know that it hurts, but sometimes people need
Sometimes
to
you
get hit by
do.
the bus.
Yep.
So, your group of yum yums, how do you feel that having that support lets you be who you like really are?
Well, that's a really important question. I think one of the best parts about this group and with other friends that I have and with my family is that they love me. They love me and they cheerlead me. They believe in me. And that gives me space to be myself, to make mistakes, to try new things and be more vulnerable, right? And in that, they also give me feedback. And I have learned over many years that good feedback, well, not good that it makes you feel good, but constructive feedback is a gift. And it's most constructive when it comes from people who truly love you. And so I feel like these people have helped me become a better person and more authentically me because it's safe to do that. It's safe to be me. They'll laugh at my jokes, but at the same time, they'll be like, okay, Brown, that was a ridiculous statement you just made. And that's okay. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. Sometimes we hurt each other's feelings, but that's just part of it too.
I think that's being true to yourself. Sometimes you need to have your feelings hurt to get back on track.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. And trying new things and making mistakes and getting feedback from your friends, those things all help build your confidence. I'm a person who believes, I think it was Mel Robbins who did a podcast on confidence. And she's like, it's really just about practicing things. It's about trying new things and being willing to step out and do new things. And that happens with friendships too, right? It's not always easy to make a new friend. It's not, but sometimes you have to take a chance. And you do that by practicing, just practicing. I have a friend who's practicing putting herself out there. So she'll be out in public and she sees somebody who has, beautiful hair. And she's challenged herself to say, oh my gosh, your hair is beautiful. And she's risking, right? She's risking rejection. She's risking somebody having a bad response, but she's doing it all to practice having a little bit more confidence.
That's great. What would you suggest to people to distinguish between someone that's challenging you to become better versus someone that's challenging you to keep you stifled?
I think that you have to look at the kind of relationship that you have. I like to think that I've learned over time the people who really have my back and the people who don't. We have different kinds of friends. We have friends for a season, we have friends for a reason, we have friends for a lifetime, and they all serve a different purpose. And I tend to think the people that have been around longer, know me better, are the people that I listen to and trust more. I don't know if that answers the question or not.
No, actually, it does because they have a track record. So
Yeah.
you know that it's more trustworthy source versus somebody who may or may not just have more of their own personal agenda
Yeah.
in that
And I
moment.
think it's important. I've done jump into friendships, go deep right away, and that hasn't always served me well. I have learned that it's important to be vulnerable with people, but also observe them in the early stages of a friendship and make sure that they're worthy of your trust. So I trust people deeply, but I don't always trust people quickly.
I like that.
Some great advice.
Yep.
hmm
Well, I love when you said a reason or a season or
Yeah.
forever. Friends come into our lives in different times for different reasons, and sometimes they stick around and sometimes they don't. And really, that's okay.
It really is okay, I think. Sometimes people think, oh, this person is gone from my life. What a horrible tragedy. Well, they kind of served a role at a certain time, and that's amazing. And I'm okay now. And I hope they are too. And maybe we'll see each other again, maybe not, but it's okay. We can't hang on to every friend we ever made.
No,
That would be exhausting.
it would. I do love the yum yum thing.
I do too. We love our time together. We live all over the place. Some folks live in Indianapolis, some live in Illinois, some live in Texas. So we really treasure our time together. But it's just like one of those no times passed when we're together.
That did not occur to me. I thought this was like a group of local gals that you got together with regularly. So I love that you clarified that.
It was in the beginning, but life has taken people different places. The other thing that I think is really cool about this group of friends that I have is they've been involved in my daughter's life. And she has seen this example of friendship that she hopes to have one day with her own group of yum yums.
That's great. And I know that's important to you because I know how you feel about your family. One of the things that I noticed, your face just lights up when you talk about your family. And I think this is a note that I want people to walk away with. What does your face look like when you're talking about certain people, thinking about certain people? Because I think that can help you. This is terrible to use this word, but call them
Sure.
like, because time, relationships, your energy that you put in them is valuable. And I once told someone that I don't know if my smile looks different when I think about my husband, but it sure feels different.
Yeah, I there's no question about that. I haven't always had wonderful, loving relationships. And I always used to think, gosh, everyone else is so lucky. They have all these wonderful people in their lives. Now I say, how did I get so lucky? How did I get so lucky to have the family that I have? My parents, they're 85 and 86, and they're still just the most amazing people. My sister lives down the street. The people are the most important thing. And I have spent a lot of time asking myself, what is the most important thing in my life? And it's the people. At one point, it was like, I want a career, I want to advance, I want to do all these things. But at the end of the day, when I'm near the end of my life, it's going to be the people. It's going to be the people I love and care about that matter most to me. I hope nobody at my funeral talks about my work. Whatever. Talk about the love.
Tell us a little bit about your coaching business.
Yeah, so I'm in development, right? Like Cheyenne, we're just building a practice right now. And I've learned over time that my focus is really going to be helping people change and grow. I really like the idea of focusing on college students and recent college grads, not hoping to control them, but helping to guide them to learn their own core values, to learn what really matters to them and make decisions based on those core values and who they are. So most of my coaching will be around just really trying to figure out who you are, how that could influence your life.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
I love your target audience because that is an age where we're very vulnerable. We are influenced by outside things
Mhm.
and we struggle because we want to be accepted
Right. And
so
we
badly.
see things like social media that tell us that everyone's life is awesome, right? Everyone else has it together. Well, who really has it together? Nobody
Mhm.
has it together. And I think a lot of kids, they're, young adults struggle with that. They see the lies on social media and they think their lives should be that too. And I guess I hope to help them see what's out there for them and that they don't have to have it together. And let's figure it out what you want to do, what your next step is.
Yeah. Everything's a facade. Social media can either make you feel bad because the sky is falling. Social media can make you feel bad
Yes.
if you're comparing. There are positive people out there that post, but that comparison piece, I don't remember what country it was, but they're not letting kids have social media until they're 16 or something. And I kind of agree with that. I was watching soccer and I saw this little girl in the crowd, couldn't have been more than 10, 12 tops. She had her phone, and I don't know if she was videoing the game and cheering or if she was videoing herself cheering. And I was just thinking, yeah, there's a little piece of me that was like, stop it.
Yeah. But kids don't know any better, right? Because they've always had access to a phone. We didn't have phones, I had one of those big, ginormous ones when I was like 22 or something like that. It was so ridiculous.
You're
But we
cool
didn't.
though with that
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
I know. In my Honda Prelude, yeah, I look so cool. But kids don't know any better. Like they just have that access and everybody else has that access. So it's not really their fault. I do think limiting is a good thing. And I'm doing that for myself. I try to curate my list of influencers that I pay attention to because I started realizing like I'm watching videos about people getting arrested and like that doesn't do anything for my energy. It's interesting, but at the same time, doesn't make me feel good. And over time, it just makes you think the world is a terrible place. And there's some pockets of that, but for the most part, there's a lot of good.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm gonna
people.
focus on that.
Yeah, because if you spend too much time on the screen and then you go out in the real world, it's like you have this expectation and then you get out there and you're like, "Oh, wait, people are actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is okay. I'm all right to be me and we're all going to get along and it's fine."
Yeah.
So, I agree with the social media. Which do you think is more detrimental to kids, like seeing that kind of stuff or seeing the comparison?
The comparison. Even my daughter, she's 22. She just graduated from college. Also, a reason why I'm interested in that demographic. But she'll say she doesn't have a job yet. and she'll say, Mom, everyone else has it together. Everyone else has it figured out. And I'm like, who of your friends has it figured out? None of them do. But in her brain, she sees all these influencers that are traveling the world or at the World Cup or just doing their makeup and looking beautiful. We don't know half of what's going on in their lives. So I do think those comparisons are hard. What's the quote? Comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Huh?
Yeah. But I'm like Amy, I really appreciate that's the demographic that you want to reach out to. Because even something as simple as, what do you want to do? I changed my major 3 times and now I'm on my 3rd career with coaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was healthcare, real estate, and coaching. That's the other thing with kids. You can do more than one thing. You don't have to decide now. And
And
even
nothing is ever permanent. It doesn't have to be permanent.
And I love that because I think that can help instill a sense of confidence in someone as well. Because sometimes people don't make a choice or they fear a choice because they think they cannot go back and change it. And you absolutely can. And is it Rush that said, and if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice?
Exactly. Yes.
So, did I get the right band? That's all I want
I
to
don't
know.
know if you got the right
Look,
band,
look
but I
at you
love
two
that you
just
pulled
quoting
Rush
stuff
out.
away here. What?
Amy, that was a rock band. It's a song.
No, are you kidding?
Okay. I
course
don't
it isn't.
know. You listen to death metal. I have no idea if you know that song.
Rush falls into the rock category, which is my genre, so I'm good there. Yes.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Although I don't think Rush was the first person to say it. I'm going to burst your bubble there, and I might have to look that up later. But either way, great song,
Probably.
great band.
That'll be my thing I Google today. I always Google something after Amy and I are, because we're like, I don't know if that's true or not. Well, I'm going to find out. Right. I'm writing down Rush quote. What other questions do you have, Amy?
I don't really have any more questions, but I wanted to have Melissa, actually Melissa and all our listeners for that matter, think about the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Some are there for a reason, some are there for a season, some are there for the long haul. How are they serving you? And also, how are you serving them?
Melissa, do you have some wise words of wisdom that you want to throw out before we wrap up?
I mean, I think Amy said it very succinctly. We can never underestimate the power of the people in our lives and their influence on us and our influence on them as I've gotten older. I think it's really important to not just live in an autopilot way, just do things the way that you've always done them, but to think about, be intentional in your actions as a friend and be intentional in your reflection about being a friend. I like to think I am a reflective person and I think a lot about the impact of others on my life, but also on my actions, my own actions. And I really am trying not to just do things the way I've always done them, but to intentionally pause and think, okay, is this the best and right way? And I think that's transformative too.
You gave Amy a sit back and think moment.
Oh.
So yeah, that's mic drop moment.
Yes, you did. And that's how we're going to end this. Although I'm going to beg already that when your business gets up and running and you feel comfortable, we would love to have you back on, Melissa, to talk
Yes,
about
please. Yeah.
to talk about how it's going with your young adults and tell us some stories and give us some more wonderful words of wisdom because we appreciate having you on our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'd love to come back and thank you for having me today.
And just remember, everybody, you got this. Just a quick reminder, everything we share on this podcast is for inspirational, personal growth, and real-life conversation. We're not doctors, therapists, financial advisors, or legal experts. Just 2 women sharing experiences, lessons, and stories to help you level up your life. Always do what's best for you and seek out qualified professionals when you need specific guidance. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and remember, you got this.